Jules here from Joolsedesigns at JT Creations. So this is just a quick tea break, crafty bit. If you've got any shrink plastic left, or you've got some and you don't know what to do with it, like me, this is what I do with mine. So I stamp on it, I cut it out, I put holes in it. You can see I've done my tags now. I've worked with them before. I've done little bits of tickets, and these make great ephemera. And that one, it didn't stamp out that great. I might stamp on the other side, but what you find with shrink plastic, it has a side to stamp on or colour on or draw on or whatever. And it's usually a rough, or they ask you to sand over. That one, I stamped out a bird and I coloured it in with chalk. So I've got some little bits here. I've got white, I've got opaque, and I never throw anything away. I've got some black here, although you do need a kind of a white. This is Shrinkies. And the only ones I've got, or the only inks I've got, is the pearlescents and the opalites, which don't always show up, so we'll leave that to one side. Another white and a large of opaque. So it's, the opaque's kind of dull, and I've long since thrown out the instructions, but I think you do sand on the top of it. So what we'll do is we'll have a go at this opaque, and what I'll do is I'll take my, it's just a nail file, and I'll just roughly just graze in the top, and I can feel it, it's a little bit rough. I'm not sure how it'll show. And if you're using ink and things on these, make sure it doesn't you know, it doesn't slide, so you can see. So we'll put these to one side, and I'm going to use stays on, and I've got a set of stamps here that I thought would be nice. They'd make nice tickets and things, just to sort of like throw on tags and journal cards, things like that. So whoops, throwing my little blenders away. So I'll need a, I think this one. So we'll do a white one, because love will fit on that. Okay, so we'll have Inspire. So I'm just popping it on. And you can colour these sheets with chalks. Some people have done their jelly plate, you know, put it on a jelly plate and coloured it that way. I think G-Care, somebody else has done it. I can't remember who it is. When she was making, G-Care did it when she was doing wings. She does some lovely stuff. So I'm just putting that on, and I'm just, I don't want it to smudge, and I don't want it to rock, and hopefully I've got enough. It's stuck. It's enough. And we'll just, the reason I've got this is I've been coffee dyeing, prepping for my next video. We'll have Believe, I think. And again. And the reason I've left a space there is because I want to put a hole in it. otherwise you have to stick it down. And I like to, that's gonna go that way. I should have put this in the middle of the stamp, in the middle of the stamp block, sorry. There we are. Put that there because that needs to be, and it's easy to cut out, so I'm just going to that's upside down, so that's right, okay. That doesn't matter if the right, so we'll put them there, and as you can see the ink's still drying, so we'll put that there. And I'm going to shift it out, and I'm going to do the red stays on because I'll do the love. And where's my stamp block? That on. And it's like a nice pinky red, and it should go quite intense. So I'm going to put it up to the top and then lift it off. And there we are. It's smudged a little bit, but not to worry. And it's tinted my stamp pink. Stays on will colour your stamps. There are things you can get cleaning, stays on cleaning. But I find if you've got any sanitizer we should left from you know the COVID, it has alcohol in it. And I'm just going to turn these down like a little tag, and there we are. And then I'm going to put a hole in this one. I'm trying not to, because if you put your fingers on the ink while it's drying, you will smudge it. There's no doubt about it, you will. And the smudge just gets intense. Put that there. And this is a Fiskars hole punch. Just making sure that I punch the hole out properly. And then we come to the good part with your heat gun. And I'm just going to put all these bits and pieces out of the way. Because I don't want them shrinking. You can put shrink plastic in the oven. I did it years ago, in my teenage years, I think, probably. We did it with crisp packets and things like that. I don't think the crisp packets do that now. Now that's still drying, so what I want to do is I want to show you how you can colour these in. Now that's dry, so I can't do anything with this. And what I've never tried is I've never tried these distress crayons on shrink plastic. So that's what I'm going to try now. And I've got it's tumbled glass. So just And you can see it's just pale, but when it shrinks down, the colour deepens a little bit. Try a little bit of pink. I think this is spun sugar. I mean, if you want it deeper, but you have to remember it will go quite deep when it's dry. And we'll try the lilac one, shadowed lilac. This will be a pretty ticket. So we've got that one, so we'll see that and we'll put these away. Chalks are good. If you've got chalks left, you know, from your, or you still use chalks from your card making days, even eyeshadow. I think that one was eyeshadow. Sparkly pearlescent eyeshadows have mica in them, so they aren't good. I've got this one. I've got quite a few of these from my card making days, and they look as though they've got eyeshadow applicators in them. So we'll do the green one. And you can see it's just pale. It might not be showing up on the video too great, but I'm going right over this one with the green, and then I'll turn it over and we'll just go a little bit deeper around the edges and the top like that. The applicators are that old, they're starting to drop to bits. I'll put that away and I'll have a go at some eyeshadow. I'm just giving you some ideas of what you can do. So what have we got here? Right, this is a roll-on. I'm not sure how this will go, but it's got quite... This is a pearlescent, so whatever, it'll give a pearlescent. Let's see, it's just... I don't know whether you can see that, so we'll put that one away. One of my favourites is this, and I paid a lot of money for it. It's the Estee Lauder, and it's khaki. I always thought it was in the Egyptian Sands collection, and I was like so in love with these colours. So we'll do this nice peacocky colour on this one, and then we'll have a bit of the sandy colours at the bottom, and we'll see what we get. I'm just using the applicator brush that come with it. I think there was a sponge as well, but that's long gone, and you can hardly see the colours. What else have we got? Got this one. This is like a terracotta. These are more my colours, but I don't use them anymore. use a paintbrush on this. Yeah. Paintbrush. And I'm just moving the eyeshadow around. If you've got a pressed eyeshadow, it's probably better because it's not loose. You don't have to wet it, just put it on like that. We've got another, oh, this is a Bare Minerals. This is an expensive one as well. Again, it's the Pearl Essence. I could use them, but, and makeup does go off. Well, lipsticks certainly do. So that's why I don't keep them too long. Although some of these are probably about 20-30 years old. But if it enhances my crafting, I'm fine about that. We'll put that away. We'll pick these up. I'm just going to put them to one side. I'm going to get my heat gun out. Now I can talk over this heat gun procedure because the heat gun isn't as noisy as my other one was. So this is a Stickits. It was a hot glue gun by Do Crafts. I cut it and I just put some holes in it. And sometimes if the shrink plastic's quite large that I'm using, I put this over and heat it underneath. So we'll try that. You can buy these. I think, is it Spellbinders? Not sure. But yeah, you can buy them, but I thought I'd make my own, as I do, until I'm proven wrong. So I will heat some without, but sometimes they curl up and you have to like manipulate them to reopen them up again. So I'm just, oops, throwing everything away. I'm trying to get things while I'm heating this up. So I've got my tweezers here, and I've got this. This is something I've had for about 20 odd years. When I first started using chalks and shrink plastic and things. And this is quite heavy. I think the one with the Spellbinders is made is heavier than this, so it holds the shrink plastic down. But what we'll do is I'll try and do it without it. See there, it's starting to curl up as it does, and I'm just putting it back. It's gone over on its side and it's starting to settle down. Sometimes they do increase. Just giving it a little bit, settling it down. It's settling down, you can see. And then what I do is I hit it with a stamp block, and there you can see. So and we've still got the hole, as you can see. So there you can put it on something, but it makes a nice little tag or disc or something. So I'm going to try, whoops, I'm going to try this Inspire one, but it's a little bit, wasn't cut out as neat. So I'm going to try this one. Put that on there. And because it's opaque, it does sort of like go a little bit whiter. We didn't colour these because these had, the ink was still drying, so, but sometimes I do colour them. And there you can see it's starting to settle down. Starting to settle down, and there we are. We have Inspire. And seems as that was that size. It's quite nifty, isn't it? Quite like it. So we'll do the lathe one. And we'll put that on there. And hopefully it's starting to settle down. And it has gone quite, I mean it was pink, but it's quite red now. Just going to peel that off. I'm just going to give it another, see if it'll go any further. And there we are. And that'd be nice on Valentine's Day or whatever. So what we'll do now is we'll do the ticket that we did the distress cranes on. Oh, my little dog's coming in to see me. She's just been out. Hello. And again, it's starting to settle. The reason I flatten them is because if you don't flatten them, they will, there. So you can see how intense that was. And you could hardly see it when we first put it on. And that is now permanent, a permanent colour. It doesn't wipe off. But be careful when you do handle these, because they are hot when you first, when you've finished heating them up. So again, we'll do another one. And this one was the one that we used the green chalks on. And it's starting to smooth out a bit. And that's settled, and then we'll just flatten that out. And you can see some of the colour does come off when it's heating up, but then if you rub it, it doesn't come off. So there we have a little green ticket, and that was like the light green, and then we went round the edges with the darker green. We'll try this one. This was the one that we just put the sparkly and you have to watch because they do curl up. You have to hope that they'll uncurl, because sometimes they stick. Like that. Yeah, it's starting to unroll. And I'm just holding it. And I'm just opening it out a bit. Put that down. And I think that's it settled. And you can see there, but yeah, there is a that one wasn't so good, but you can see a sort of like a pearlized sheen on it. Well, wipe that off, and we'll do this bird. This was one I stamped and coloured with chalk. And I'm just waiting for it to settle. I'm trying to keep the heat gun out of the way of the camera. I am aware that I've got the heat gun over. And there we are. And it is still hot, so be careful when you're handling them. So we've still got the hole. So again, another charm. And we'll do this one. I do tend to roll a bit. And I'm just going to turn it over. And just try and get it to open out. And then it's starting to settle now. You can see it's starting to. So if you wanted it curved, you could leave it like that, but I prefer them flat. Okay. And the intenseness of that eyeshadow was quite. And that one is still wiping off a little bit, but it's kind of overtaken the stamped image, but it still looks kind of cute. Okay. And we'll do this one. And it's just starting to go into shape now. And the last bit to go, you can see there's a dimple, so that's like it's still stretching, still shrinking, sorry. So it's still a dimple there. Okay, and if you pick them up when they're too hot, you still can maneuver them. And you could reheat them, you know, if you wanted them to flap about a bit or curl. So that's the three that we stamped. That one I'll leave. This one we did with eyeshadow. And we'll see, because this was the what I call the Egyptian sand. Oh. Oh. So I'm just holding that down and waiting for it to turn it over. And again, I'm just waiting for it to settle and go shrink into shape. It's still shrinking and it's starting to lay down flat. And there we are. So you can see how intense that was compared to when we put it on. There was hardly anything there, so you don't need a lot of colour on shrink plastic. It does intensify as it shrinks down, so you can put the palest of colours. I mean, you can see by that one you could hardly see it. This one I think we put some kind of makeup on it. Again, got a dimple there, which means it's still shrinking, or it shrunk too much too quick. Yeah, it's starting to and there we are, and you could see that's quite intense. And yes, some of it's rubbing off, but not a lot, so it will keep the colour. And then last of all, we'll do one without any colour on it at all. I'm just trying to hold it in place so that it will shrink and behave itself. And I'll just put it over, and it's just starting to shape, go into shape now. Just as flat as it's going to go. And there we are. So if you don't want to colour them, that one's still hot. Okay, and there we are. So lots of little charms to put throughout your journal, and because they're flat, they don't take up a lot of room, and it doesn't take long to do. It's probably the stamping that takes the longest. But you can do flowers. I like to do tickets. Yeah, the birds are quite nice, but if they're, when you cut them out, if they're too intricate, they may sort of like stick over on themselves. You could also do some bugs, you know, if you've got the bug stamps, or if you're quite artistic, you can draw your own. Like G.K., she drew her wings when she was doing her butterflies and things like that. And they're fairy journals, you can do wings. And you've seen how, you know, if you put the colours on even paler, or you could match the colours to your journal, it would look absolutely fantastic. So I will see you in the next video. Bye.